everyone, and welcome back to my 5-part series ranking every song from every Mario Kart track. In case you missed it last week, I went over some of the songs that were mediocre or just plain bad. But now we're starting to get into some okay songs, some songs I wouldn't mind grooving to a bit. Although we are still a bit away from some really top tier Mario Kart songs. But without further ado, let's get the countdown going. At number 87, we have 3DS Rosalina's Ice World. The sound is very reminiscent of like something from Super Mario Galaxy, which isn't surprising considering some of the track itself is based off of that. It's a very relaxing tune, not particularly memorable like a lot of the tracks that were on last week's list, but it is kind of neat. The melody can be a little fun to hum along to, especially the one that's at the beginning, the one that goes dun 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 dun, you know what I'm talking about. After that, it gets a little sleepy for lack of a better word, but the opening melody is what spared it from being on the lower tier of my rankings. It hasn't been remade yet, but I do wonder what this song would sound like if Nintendo were to remake it. At number 86, we have DS Cheep Cheep Beach. This is a song quite similar to Rosalina's Ice World in my opinion. Its melody is relaxing and it's a little more catchy and fun to hum along to than some of the tracks you'll find in the lower tier. The bass line is honestly pretty funky too, it has that nice DS feel to it, but also like Rosalina's Ice World, it's just a bit on the forgettable side. When we're talking great Mario Kart tunes to jump around to, we don't talk Cheep Cheep Beach. But I can say this song is a lot better than Cheep Cheep Lagoon at least. The Wii U version sounds more polished as you might expect, but for whatever reason I kinda prefer the DS version honestly. At number 85, we have DS Mario Circuit / Figure 8 Circuit. Yes, Figure 8 Circuit is one of the worst tracks in Mario Kart history, but this ranking that we're doing is purely based off the music, not the tracks themselves. So now that we got that out of the way, Mario Circuit / Figure 8 Circuit begins with a pretty catchy hook, especially that epic intro, which only will let you down in Figure 8 Circuit for what's to come. But again, we're not talking about the track. The second half of the song seems a little bit bland and toned down compared with the melody we hear in the beginning though. But that bass line stays funky the entire time. So there's that. Neither Mario Circuit nor Figure 8 Circuit have come back yet, though I do want to see this song be remade. Preferably with Mario Circuit because Figure 8 Circuit does suck. At number 84, we have the SNES Koopa Beach theme. The overall melody and background of this song is definitely a bit more interesting than the SNES tracks I put in the bottom tier last week. This is another song with a good hook melody in the beginning, especially that part that goes. The percussion is a bit more interesting too as we get multiple percussion instruments rather than just the little loop playing in the background. It's not a super memorable theme, I'm using the word memorable again, but it's serviceable I guess. The DS version of this theme does not sound as good, in fact it sounds way worse for whatever reason. It did that to a lot of the retro tracks. At number 83, we have essentially a more polished version of Cheep Cheep Beach, which is GCN Peach Beach / Daisy Cruiser. I've never really thought of them as the same song before, but they basically are if you listen to them honestly. They sound very, very similar. It just sounds better on Double Dash than it does on DS. The chill factor is a bit higher. Peach Beach came back in Mario Kart Wii and Daisy Cruiser came back in Mario Kart 7 and they sounded pretty much the same. At number 82, we have Wii U Super Bell Subway, a song that very much defines elevator music. It's mildly catchy elevator music though, I'll give it that. It definitely has that live orchestrated charm that practically every Mario Kart 8 song has. And the main guy on the saxophone, he does a pretty good job. Or is it a trumpet? I don't know. I used to be in band a long time ago, but I freaking forget. But overall, this is not one of the better songs in Mario Kart 8. It fits the theme of the track kinda well at least. It seems very subway station-ish, but I think it could be a bit faster. I think a rendition that would be more hectic, it would be cool if it was remade like that. At number 81, we have Wii U Sweet Sweet Canyon. I dig the violin as this is also kind of a song that reminds me of Super Mario Galaxy. More specifically, Puzzle Plank Galaxy's music. Although Puzzle Plank is definitely more catchy, and it's also a lot more memorable, my favorite word. It's a very cheerful theme, and although Mario Kart is full of plenty of happy songs, honestly it doesn't get much more cheerful than Sweet Sweet Canyon. I suppose that means it does fit the track quite well considering it's centered around sugary treats, and who doesn't like those? So in other words, Sweet Sweet Canyon's song is pretty sweet. It would be interesting to see the song come back soon. At number 80, we have Wii Daisy Circuit, the track you see in the thumbnail. This song pretty much defines, it's okay. The main melody is pretty, and I like it when that piano gets to that more intense higher notes. My favorite part of the song is probably the bass line, though. It just sort of grooves along with the rest of it, and it does sound really good. So really it is an okay song. In fact, it is pretty good, but it doesn't do anything like super incredible to grab your attention though. The song hasn't come back yet at all in the Mario Kart series, though I definitely would be interested to see it return, because obviously I am a sucker for Mario Kart Wii. At number 79, we have DS Luigi's Mansion. If you watched my first video, you can tell I'm not exactly a fan of a lot of the spooky Mario Kart themes, but Luigi's Mansion is kind of an exception to that. I really like the unsettling beat of the song. It kind of goes dun, 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 dun. It's uneven, and the melody is honestly cooler than a lot of those previous Ghost House songs that I talked about. The organ sounds good on this song, and although the melody won't really get stuck in your head, it is kind of neat to listen to. The 3DS version doesn't really change much of anything, so let's move along. At number 78, we have GBA Shy Guy Beach / Cheep Island. It's a chill main melody along with one of the grooviest bass lines you'll find in Mario Kart Super Circuit. It definitely fits the theme of Shy Guy Beach a lot better than Cheep Island, I think. This sort of seems like the kind of song for when the sun is rising up and the day is, new, not when the sun is setting like in Cheep Island. It's a relaxing, pleasant theme that if you jam too much to it, you might forget that you have a bunch of crabs to dodge. The version of Mario Kart Wii doesn't change a whole lot other than sounding like it's not from the GBA. At number 77, we have the SNES Bowser Castle theme. It gets a bit repetitive as it sort of loops back after only about 40 seconds, and there's no real section of the song that sounds distinct from another section. But despite all that, it is a cool, intense sounding song. There are quick bursts of boing, boing that you hear in the background that are really cool. And of course the main melody is very interesting too with the whole wow 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 thing. I'm sorry, but there's really no better way I can describe this song than by singing it out loud. I don't know why. Surprisingly, not even one SNES Bowser Castle variant has been brought back. I would love to see what a song remake would be like though. At number 76, we have a song that may surprise a lot of you for being so high. Wii Wario's Gold Mine, baby. You all know I hate this track, but I think the song is halfway decent actually. There's a hint of Koopa Cape in this song that I dig, and the overall melody is actually quite catchy. The beat gets really intense about 30 seconds in, as the melody disappears for something a little less cool, but overall I like the song. I'm trying to be objective as possible, because the one reason I wouldn't really like this song is because of the PTSD it gives me for racing on the track. But again, I'm trying not to judge this track's here, only the music. The Wii U version improves upon it too, and of course the singing Shy Guys are so great with it. At number 75, we have GCN Sherbet Land. The ice physics in this track may be just as annoying as an N64 Sherbet Land, but at least the music is definitely more memorable. It does honestly sound kind of similar to the original Sherbet Land in that it's a jingly, very winter sounding tune, but this one is definitely a lot more cheerful and welcoming until the Shy Guys run into you, of course. The main melody sounds especially cheerful and jingly. It's just relaxing to listen to. The Wii U version definitely sounds better though, I think the retro track improved upon the original in many ways there, the music included. At number 74, we have DS Peach Gardens. It doesn't exactly grab your attention right away by being super catchy, but I don't know if a banger would have fit the track right anyway. It's meant to be a peaceful stroll through the garden, and that's basically how this music sounds. The melody is very pretty, and it sounds even better when the harmony is added towards the end of the loop, where some more string instruments are sort of joined in, and it sounds nice. The Wii version sounds a bit more crisp, but doesn't really change anything. It just sounds better not being on the DS. No offense to the DS. At number 73, we have N64 Koopa Troopa Beach. The main melody that we hear after the little intro in the beginning is definitely what makes this song interesting to me. The second half is a bit more forgettable, that's for sure. The background is a little bit repetitive, but it adds to this overall very relaxing vibes that this song presents. And trust me when I say this, it is one of the more chill songs that you'll find in the chaos of Mario Kart. The song was remade for Mario Kart 7, but honestly it sounds better in Mario Kart 64 to me, though there wasn't a huge difference anyway. At number 72, we have Wii U Water Park. The music is super cheerful and upbeat here, and I definitely can dig it. This is a track that I actually think gets a bit better as it goes along, which is why I think it's a slightly better water theme than Koopa Beach. The saxophony goodness obviously helps a bit too. So while the track itself is one of the more generic in Mario Kart 8, at least the music is quite solid. The main piano that we hear after the intro is also quite nice, almost forgot to mention that. It hasn't been remade, obviously, though I wouldn't mind it. At number 71, we have 3DS DK Jungle, a great tribute to the DK series, of course. While the main melody we hear is interesting, I honestly kind of like it when that whole guitar groove thing happens. And when I say melody, I of course mean the whole thing. The percussion of course sounds quite nice too, as you might expect with a DK theme. It was remade in Mario Kart 8, but unlike a lot of Mario Kart 8 musical remakes, it didn't really sound a whole lot different from the original. It didn't really try to change anything. At number 70, we have GBA Lakeside Park. This is a weird one. It's basically a much cooler version of Riverside Park, because it almost made the good tier of my list, which is the next video. The main melody is a lot more catchy and interesting. Like Lakeside Park though, this song is kinda all over the place as you're hearing a bunch of different things, including some distant ah-woo-woo-woo-woos in the background. I can't do that, but you know what I'm talking about. It's weird. But that main melody we hear after the intro, man, that is some jazzy stuff. This is yet another GBA track yet to be remade, but I would love to see both the track and the music come. At number 69, we have one of the most classic songs you'll hear in Mario Kart, the good old Raceway Theme from Mario Kart 64. The bass line in this song has quite a bit of funkiness. Combine that with the catchy main melody and you have yourself quite a good and memorable tune. Now, as you'll recall, I had many circuit themes in the lower tier, in like the bad tier, in that first video. This, however, is a circuit theme done well. It doesn't have to be super fantastic. Save that for the Rainbow Road, save the awesomeness for like tracks like that. But it's still got to be somewhat memorable, and this one certainly is. It's been remade a lot, and though the Wii and 3DS versions sound pretty similar, the Wii U's is a bit more polished, although there is a problem with the Wii U. That funkiness in the bass line, it's gone. At number 68, we have a song that I would say is quite nice, GBA Snow Land. The main melody is probably one of the catchiest in this tier of the list. That's why it almost made the good tier. The second half with the whistling isn't as good, but that energetic tune that you hear at the beginning, along with that driving beat of sort of psh, psh, psh that we hear in the background, it's awesome, it's really fast, it sounds good. It makes the whole screen shaking thing kinda tolerable actually. This cheerful winter theme should have probably been remade by now, but as is the case with so many GBA themes, it hasn't been remade. At number 67, we have GCN Baby Park. This is another song that's towards the top of this tier simply due to how catchy it is. Baby Park is one of the most intense songs in Mario Kart, and although it may get a bit repetitive, it fits the track pretty well, considering you have to do it 7 times, so that in itself is repetitive. And the way it just turns into mass chaos on the final lap, you gotta love it. Now, the DS version, you gotta hate it. Most of the catchiness and charm is gone from that. It just doesn't feel as fast as and like intense for whatever reason. Now, the Mario Kart 8 version, on the other hand, the intensity is strong with that one. The guitar for like the main melody, like that only adds to how awesome it is. So to me, it is the best version of this particular song. At number 66, we have N64 Moo Moo Farm / Yoshi Valley. Again, we're starting to get into some of the more catchy and memorable Mario Kart tunes. You're not going to forget the hecticness of Yoshi Valley anytime soon, and the music certainly contributes to that. That main violin at the beginning just sucks you in with how energetic it is. And I love the Mario Kart 8 remake. It's a big reason why Yoshi Valley is one of my favorite retro tracks in that game. The violin just sounds so good in it. And as for the DS version of Moo Moo Farm, music isn't really as impressive there now, is it?